So good afternoon. If you've just tuned in, where on earth have you been? It's time for Outside. Now today I'm very excited because I'm joined by actress Claire Sweeney. Now she's a singer, a dancer, TV presenter, best known for her role as Lindsay Cargill in Channel 4's Brookside. Do you remember that? Brookside, what a show. I used to love that. Didn't somebody end up underneath the patio? After many successful stints on the West End, she's doing something little bit different. She's starring as the headline act in Proud Cabaret All Stars, launching at Proud Embankment. Now, Claire is the latest celebrity to lead this all-star cast of spectacular acrobatic circuses and fire-breathing acts and loads of jaw-dropping feats of death-defying skills by a host of burlesque beauties. Look at her, she looks fabulous. Make sure you can have a look at that on the app, on the GBNews app, or you can also even stream us live on YouTube. But I'm very pleased to say that Claire joins me now. Claire, what a woman. You've done so much.
You give such a good build-up then. That was fantastic.
But just, honestly, you've done so much. I remember you in Brookie.
Do you know, Brookside seems like 10 lives ago now. Yeah. And you know what's interesting now? There's a whole generation, probably 2 generations, who don't really know what Brookside is. You know, and they've never heard of it. I think it finished about 2004.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
When
yeah.
I say Brookside, because the producers are a lot younger than me, they're half my age. We're the same age.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue.
Yeah, oh, darling, you neither, darling. I had no idea. But honestly, the producers, they didn't have a clue. They hadn't got. I said Brookside. I was like, Brookside. Well, who was it that was under the patio? Under the.
Oh, that was the Anna Friel storyline, wasn't it? With Jordache, Trevor Jordache, wasn't it? Yeah. You see, I was a fan of the show before I went into it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, from Liverpool, you know, it was the beacon of Liverpool, this show, and it was groundbreaking drama, you know, it was amazing.
No, there was the first lesbian kiss, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That was amazing. It was like, oh!
I know, it was great, and then I got to do the second one.
I know.
It was like, you know, there was never a dull moment.
Did you enjoy it? No,
yeah.
So I want to ask you that. So you mentioned that this was something that you'd sort of watched and then you suddenly ended up on it. How did you end up with the job there?
So I auditioned for it, and then I auditioned for a part I didn't want, actually. There was a part to be in Mike Dixon's band, and I wanted that role, but I couldn't make that audition, so I auditioned for Jimmy Corkill's daughter. They told me I wasn't right for it. They wanted someone really rough and ready, and I was a bit glam, you know, and a bit... I wasn't right for that part. And anyway, I auditioned for it, and it was that thing of going in, not really wanting that role, and I got it. And then I did 2 episodes and went to work on cruise ships for 4 years.
That must have been exciting.
Well, that was
I've always
wonderful.
wanted to do cruise ships.
It was brilliant. I
Tax-free and all that.
Well, that's it. Well, I travelled the world, you know, with my bedroom and did shows, and it was fantastic. So I did that, and then I wrote a letter back to the producers, Mal Young and Phil Redmond, and the day the letter landed was the day they were doing a future storyline meeting and moving Jimmy and Jackie into the close, and it was just that serendipity. If the letter had landed, it was the days we wrote letters. If the letter had landed a day later, I would have missed the boat with it.
Wow.
And it just, you know, it's just fate. And
interesting you mentioned Phil Redmond, because I wrote to him about Hollyoaks, and I remember saying, Professor Phil, how come there's no black people on Hollyoaks? I wrote to him because there were very few.
Well, really?
There really weren't any, and he actually replied.
Oh, he's wonderful, Phil.
He actually replied.
He's an amazing man. Yeah, he's an amazing man. He's done so much for the city as well of Liverpool. He's been so good to me, and he's so brilliant.
Yeah, and then I offered myself to do something there. He didn't take me up on that.
Well, he responded to you, you know, it took time.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
As I can remember, after Brookside, you were everywhere. You were on everything.
Well, I did the very first Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was no reality TV. It was for comic relief. None of us got paid. Vanessa Feltz, Jack Dee, Chris Eubank. And, it was... a massive thing at the time, because there'd been no jungle, no ice dancing, no Strictly, nothing like that. So it was a real event.
What was that like?
It was great. It really catapulted my career. Yeah. And I'd handed my notice in to leave Brookside before I went into Celebrity Big Brother. So it was nice I wasn't leaving Brookside saying I've got better things to do now.
Yeah.
I'd decided to leave Brookside when I had nothing, and I wanted to take a chance on getting into a musical, and then this happened, and then, you know, the world fell into my lap. 2001, that was.
So you've done bits of musicals. Wow. Talk to me about those, because you can sing. I wish I could sing.
Oh, I love it. I mean, this year, I started off this year doing 9 to 5, the musical, which was wonderful.
God.
That was such good fun. It was terrifying because I had 6 days to learn it. The company was up and running and established. I was taking over Louise Redknapp and I had 6 days to learn it and go in and do it. And you know, our brains kind of went to sleep in lockdown, didn't they? And to suddenly have this massive amount of script and routine to learn soon sharpened up. So that, you know, it's been a good year, doing 9 to 5, then straight into Proud, which is very different.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Well, I love it.
To do stuff like that.
Because I started off a different type of cabaret, but I cut my teeth in the social clubs in Liverpool where you have to interact with the audience, and it was old school cabaret. And suddenly cabaret has come back with a sexier slant to it. Because this show, it's burlesque, there's wonderful circus acts, there's world-class acts in this show. And I host the evening, chatting to the audience, interacting, singing, wearing fabulous, outrageous costumes. Oh, it's fabulous. And, you know, it's for me, I used to go there for a night out when Duncan James was doing, well, he's back on now, Duncan. And for me, it's the perfect night because you sit and you have food. You don't have to leave your seat and you can watch a show. I mean, what's not to like?
Isn't that fabulous?
Eat and watch an amazing show.
And the thing is, as I said, you and I today I mentioned that we're half a century. Looking good on it, girl.
Are you 50 as well?
Yes.
You look amazing.
I'm 50.
Look at the little figure on you.
Well, I did.
You've got no middle-aged spread, have you? You look amazing.
It's a weighted hoop exercise. It will beat the flesh back.
That's what I'm trying to do at the moment, but it's not coming off as quick as it used to.
I know. As you get older, these things happen, though, don't they? I mean, it's the way it is. So, what about in terms of family then? Do you have children?
I've got a 7-year-old son who's just the light of my life. I left it late. I was 43 when I had him, and he's just great. And it was wonderful, you know. Lockdown was good for me.
Yeah.
I feel a bit guilty saying that sometimes because I was in a position where I was financially secure, so I was okay. And it was the first time I've not worked without guilt, because I've always been a workaholic.
Yeah.
So to suddenly, you know, not feel guilty for not working, it was great. And, I mean, homeschooling was horrendous. But I just love the time out with my son, and he's just a joy. It's time we'll never get back. It was wonderful.
It's lovely. Sadly, we never get time back.
I know.
I wish I could have that time again. No, but it is interesting because I had my son Ivory. He's 4 now. And I had him at 14.
Okay, so you were
there's
later.
old mum.
Yeah.
I have another child as well, but old mums. Was it difficult? Was it quite simple? Was it quite straightforward? Because a lot of women look and think, well, God, these women had their children older. Did you?
I loved it because I've done everything I want to do.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
You know, I'm not chasing them, not looking over my shoulder, thinking I'm missing something.
Yeah.
I've had the most fulfilled, fantastic life, and this little boy's come along to my life, and I often think without him, my life would have been quite vacuous, really.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
feel very blessed that I could have him, and I was very blessed, and he's got a great family around him, and he's just he's a joy. He's made me see things through new eyes.
Yeah.
You know, I see everything through new eyes now, and it's brilliant.
What would you say then has been, obviously he's your biggest achievement in life, for sure. I mean, my children are mine. But if you were to look at the thing that...
How old's yours? 4?
So I've got one who's 4
Yeah.
and one who's 13.
Oh, okay.
See that? Because she's a
Yeah.
great babysitter. It's so good. She helps. I can go
That's
upstairs
great,
and do stuff and
isn't
she
it?
can help me out. So that is perfect. She needs to be paid for it, though, because she's just understood now. She has a Go Henry account. But
I've got to go Henry for Jackson.
I know, it's great.
I don't know, we're allowed to sound like we're advertising. I'm not
No, we're not
advertising.
advertising.
I'm not. But it's brilliant because it's made Jackson realise the value of money. Like today I said, your pocket money's gone on. He said, what have I got to do for it?
Very
And I gave him a chore to do. And he went, OK, Mummy, I've done it.
Very good.
And it's great. It's really good.
I love it when it sort of turns down a payment, when it says Africa's card has just been declined. She tried to spend more money than she's got. I thought it was so embarrassing for her. And then me and her dad both laugh out loud.
But that's good. That's good. Yeah, welcome to the real world.
That's good, isn't it? So for you then, your biggest lesson that you think you've learned that in your mind always sort of replays, because we always have these moments in our life where we think, OK, right, that's a message and a lesson.
Do you know, it's funny. It was a lesson that I said to my friend the other day. My friend... Things are going very, very well for him at the moment, and he said, "Oh, I'm tired," and da-da-da. And I said, my mother said one thing to me once at the height of my fame, when things were really, you know, busy, just after Big Brother and all that. I remember moaning to my mum, saying, "Oh, Mum, I'm tired, and this is happening, I've got to do this, I've got to do that." My mum went, "If you don't like it, shut up and come back home to Liverpool. If you do, just shut up and get on with it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's such valuable advice, isn't it? If you don't like it, just come home, you know, shut shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. If people want to catch you on this wonderful cabaret, where do they need to go? What's it called?
So
Tell us
Proud Cabaret, proudcabaret.com, and it's go to the website. I do Saturday nights at the moment. Duncan James is doing Thursdays. Amber Davis is doing Fridays, and but I would suggest coming to my show, of course. But no, it's a great. You know, they have great acts on there, and the whole show is wonderful. You know, Jess, who's our creative director, she's wonderful. She does a very wonderful act on a rocking horse. And then we got choreographer Dale and the dancers and Marie Devilreaux. I mean, the whole acts are world class. It's just fantastic.
Wow, Claire Sweeney, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank
Thank you
you
so much for joining me on Outside.
Thank you.